Origins of Black Bolt. The king of the Inhumans, Black Bolt is cursed and blessed with a quasi-sonic voice. He must remain forever silent, for with the slightest whisper he can destroy cities, and with the loudest screams he can level continents. Black Bolt was born as Black Agar Bolt Agon to two of Adalan's top geneticists, Agon, head of the ruling council of genetics, and Rinda, director of the prenatal care center. Subjected to the mutagenic Turigen mists while still an embryo, Bolt was born with strange powers surpassing even the Inhumans' norm. As an infant, he demonstrated certain energy manipulative abilities which he could not yet control, particularly that of producing quasi-sonic energy of great destructive potential. To protect the community, he was placed inside a soundproofed chamber and given an energy-harnessing suit. Agon then tutored his son in how to control his powers, until he was permitted to re-enter society as a young man, having promised to never speak of his powers. Black Bolt's younger brother Maximus attacks him upon his release from confinement, in an attempt to prove that Black Bolt cannot control his sonic powers. A month after being awarded his freedom, Black Bolt discovers that his younger brother, Maximus Bolt Agon, is in the process of making a treacherous pact with emissaries of the alien Kree. Attempting to stop the Kree ship before it escaped, Black Bolt used the forbidden power of his quasi-sonic voice to knock the ship out of the sky. When the ship crashed to Earth, it landed on the Parliament, killing several key members of the Council of Genetics, including his parents, Agon and Rinda. The reverberations of his brother's shout affected Maximus' sanity and suppressed his nascent mental powers. Despite his guilt and silent protests, Black Bolt was obligated to accept the mantle of leadership of the Inhumans at the age of 20. After the origin events that led to the death of Black Bolt's parents, he had accepted to mantle the throne as leader of the Inhumans. Black Bolt's first crisis in leadership came when his cousin Triton was briefly held captive by humans. Learning of Triton's encounter upon his escape, Black Bolt decided that the Inhumans' island of Adalan was in imminent danger of discovery by humanity. Black Bolt scouted out possible sites to which to move, and settled upon the remote Himalayan mountains. After the Great Migration, Black Bolt faced his second great crisis when his brother Maximus, who had by now become psychotic, unleashed the Tricon, 3 of the Inhumans' worker drones, who were transformed into energy beings. The Tricon enabled Maximus to wrest the rule of the Inhumans from his brother and send Black Bolt and the other members of the royal family into exile. For the next few years, Black Bolt and his kinsmen wandered Asia, Europe, and finally America, in search of Medusa, his betrothed mate, who had been separated from the others during the battle with the Tricon. Eventually Black Bolt was reunited with Medusa and the royal family returned to Adalan and resumed the crown. The Inhumans' home, Adalan, was moved to the blue area of the moon after Mr. Fantastic diagnosed pollution as the source of a plague among the Inhumans. When the Kree refugees came to Adalan for refuge, they actually came to kill Black Bolt and the rest of the Inhuman royal family. This attempt of assassination was foiled by Black Bolt himself. Black Bolt has led the Inhumans through some of the most turbulent times in their history, including several more attempts Maximus has made to usurp the throne, revolts amongst the worker class, attacks from human renegades, the kidnapping of Medusa, the destruction and rebuilding of Adalan, the revelation of the Inhumans' existence to humanity, and several more relocations of Adalan. Following the traditionally lengthy period of betrothal, Black Bolt and Medusa were wed. His role as king of the Inhumans has been tumultuous. The first major crisis when he and Medusa conceived a child. Medusa bore the child in defiance of the Genetic Council, whose members felt that Black Bolt's bloodline was too dangerous to pass on. The council nonetheless took the child to examine, and forbade parental contact. Black Bolt was torn between his love of family and his duty to respect the Genetic Council, and it was only when the counselors were revealed to be evilly using his son in a plot against him that he finally turned against the council. With that, he also gave up the crown as king of the Inhumans. For a while, they lived away from Attilan, but returned in times of need. After the Heroes Reborn arc, he seemed to have been reinstated as monarch without much further explanation, but was subsequently exiled after Attilan's forced adventure with Ronan in space. Black Bolt is called up once again to join the ranks of the Illuminate to help stop the incursions that are destroying multiple Earths from parallel universes. Each member tries to come up with their own way to stop the incursions, but soon find that they must stop an incursion from occurring and stop their work. Black Bolt with the rest of the team travels to a parallel Earth to see if they can find that universe's own set of infinite gems. But Black Bolt points out to the team that Galactus is already feeding off the planet. The Terrax of that universe soon finds that team and states that they can either leave or stay and fight and lose. The team stays and fights Terrax. Terrax seems to have the upper hand, until Black Bolt hits him with a sonic scream. While the rest of the Illuminate continue to work on their own ways to stop the incursions, Black Bolt and his brother Maximus are working on a different project. Black Bolt is now preparing the T-bomb and hopes that it will give way to a new age for the Inhumans. Black Bolt is approached by Medusa, who asks what he is up to, and when she enters his mind in order to speak to him, Black Bolt destroys the space in his mind that allows him to talk to Medusa in order to keep the secrets of what he is doing with the T-bomb and the Illuminate secret. Black Bolt also asked Maximus to build him a machine where he can travel to a dimension where he can speak and his sonic scream would not hurt anyone, because the dimension they are in, all of the sound is one single pitch tone. After the events of Infinity, Black Bolt and Maximus, both presumed dead, continue their work on trying to stop the incursions. Black Bolt is seen in a healing tank and Maximus states that his powers are close to being to full power. Black Bolt and the team travel to a world where they must a superhero group called the Great Society. One of the members of the Great Society goes back to the 616 universe to get the antimatter bomb, but Black Bolt flies behind her. He eventually catches up and is able to stop her from getting the bomb. When the time comes to blow up the parallel world, none of the members of the team are able to destroy the world, not even Black Bolt. But Namor does, making the team furious that Namor was able to destroy a world. The team decides that they can't do this again, they can destroy another world, and decided to allow the next incursion to happen. Black Bolt along with Lockjaw travel to the moon to watch the last incursion to happen. Black Bolt crying screams with anger in the fact he wasn't able to stop this from happen. But the incursion never appears. It is soon found out that Maximus and Namor have stated a new cabal and that they were reason the incursion didn't happen. In the 8 months later storyline, it is shown that all of the new Avengers including Black Bolt are wanted criminals. But Black Bolt is shown to be missing and unaccounted for. Imprisoned. When the Mad Titan Thanos raided Attilan, Black Bolt set off a bomb that destroyed the city and spread Turigen across the planet, seemingly dying in the process. The result was an explosion in the Inhuman population, but many died in the transformation process and Turigen proved deadly to mutants. When Black Bolt retuned, freed from Maximus' mind control who had taken him following the battle with Thanos, his people no longer trusted him and neither did his queen Medusa. The Midnight King abdicated his throne and set out for redemption. Black Bolt had planned to transfer his brother to a secret prison at the edge of the galaxy, however Maximus used his powers and Image Inducer to switch places, leaving Black Bolt powerless in the hands of a sadistic jailer who tortures them until death, then resurrects them to face their crimes again and again. Powers and abilities. Cosmic awareness. Black Bolt later manifested cosmic awareness. This ability allows him an omnipresence consciousness to know exactly what he feels he needs to know at any given moment. This could range from what his current location is to discovering an opponent's weakness, to cosmic threats in the universe. Ambient particle and electron harnessing. Black Bolt's primary superhuman ability is the power to harness free-floating electrons. The speech center of his brain contains a unique organic mechanism that's able to generate an unknown particle that interacts with the electrons he absorbs to create certain phenomena that are determined by his mental control. Black Bolt's most devastating offensive weapon, and one of these phenomena based upon the particle interaction, is his actual voice. A whisper can level a city, cause distant dormant volcanoes to become active once more, and generate tremors on the far side of the planet. A hypersonic shout has been said to generate enough force to destroy planets. Due to the constant and extreme danger posed by his voice, he has undergone rigorous mental training to prevent himself from uttering even the smallest sound, even while asleep. Recently it has been shown that Black Bolt's scream is tied into his emotions, especially anger. This in turn would mean that the power of his scream would depend on his emotional state in at least some way. It would explain the fluctuation of the power released by his quasi-sonic scream. While at ease, a spoken word from Black Bolt has destroyed mountain ranges in the past, but while under more strenuous circumstances, it was stated that a single word would be capable of annihilating half a planet. His voice has been strong enough to hurt the likes of Hulk, Namor, Wonder Man, Ares, Gladiator, Sentry, Vision, The Thing, Silver Surfer, and Iron Man, among others. Particle and electron channeling. Black Bolt wears a metallic, fork-shaped antenna upon his brow that allows him to focus and channel his powers in more directed and less destructive ways. This antenna monitors the speech center of his brain and allows him to direct quantities of the unknown particles to create controlled phenomena, such as enhancing his physical strength. His baseline strength allows him to press 2 tons. When using enhancing his strength, he was able to trade blows with the Thing, who possesses class 100 strength. He has also been strong enough to trade punches with the likes of Hulk, Thor, Namor, Gladiator, Icarus, and Ronan, among others. He can also channel all the available energy he has into one arm for a single, massively powerful punch called the Master Blow. The exertion from this, however, taxes his ability to employ the energy to its limit and leaves him somewhat vulnerable for a time. Particle and electron manipulation. Black Bolt can also direct the unknown particle outwards without the use of his vocal cords. He can route the particles through his arms and create small yet very powerful blasts of concussive force. He can also form a field of highly active electrons around his body with a wave of his hand. This field can deflect projectiles up to the mass of a large meteor. Black Bolt can also create enough iteration between the electron and particle energies to generate fields solid enough for him to travel over. Matter and energy manipulation. Through an unknown method, Black Bolt has shown numerous times that he has the ability to manipulate matter and energy to an unknown degree. He has shown the ability to transmute the elements, such as water, into ice by rearranging the molecular structure. He has destroyed a solar flare powerful enough to annihilate the Earth. Anti-gravitational flight. Black Bolt can also harness the unknown particles his brain generates to interact with electrons to create anti-gravitons that enable him to defy gravity. By emitting a jet of rapidly moving particle-electron interaction byproduct while enveloped by anti-gravitons, Black Bolt has been shown to fly faster than 1,000 miles per hour for a period of 10 hours. The anti-graviton field also serves to protect Black Bolt from the detrimental effects of rapid movement through the atmosphere.